everyone, welcome to another episode of Roots to Roots. So basically, today we're going to be speaking about like the whole politics of natural hair and how it's been like so problematic in like in historical context, in modern context, even. So today we at the Perfect Hair in Braamfontein, which is basically
nice natural hair store,
a nice
where you can get
store.
like nice things, like gels.
They even have
for
like
hair.
things for your beards, guys.
Yeah,
so
things
for
for
our
men.
male viewers, like
If
if
you
you're
need your
looking to
beard to connect, this is
connecting.
where you need to come and buy a beard
Yes.
cream.
Yeah, so
I went to a school, Wordsworth High, where like the principal had like an assembly, like she called the girls in. Like,
story.
yeah, like that.
It was like so ridiculous.
It was even on the news,
right,
guys. It was on
bruh.
the
Even our
news.
aunts from like the UK like
heard about it. Yeah, like my principal basically like called an assembly of girls on like a random Wednesday afternoon, and she called like all the girls to come down to like where you have Assembly Valley. And Masfiga, when we got down there, she basically like she was a white woman, and she told us that our hair is dirty, we're so disgusting, like we never wash our hair, black girls and like dreads, like she just went on and on. And she actually took like measures to like express that hatred that she had, that racism that she
Every
felt.
time I hear the story, I just cringe.
And like the next day the girls came in and she made the girls wash their hair with like sunlight. And so like
at the school, she
at
made
the
it
school,
on the spot.
yeah,
What
at the
hell,
school. So
dude?
it was the following day. So she sent a message, a newsletter where she told us about how our hair is so dirty. Our mothers teach us to like not take care of ourselves and stuff like that. And then the next day she was like, fix it. So the next day some girls just didn't do anything because they had afros. Other girls had relaxed hair. She said that if she saw like a sheen, like sometimes like for example you can see maybe it's sweat. It's sweat maybe combined with like the product that you have that day.
Yeah.
She opened the tap in the pavilion and she put all the black girls under the tap, and she like was.
What do you mean?
Yeah, with like sunlight dishwasher.
No, but do you know how like that dries the
Yes.
hair? Dude, like how do you
and like I remember like girls were walking back to class. It was around exam time with like hair dripping down, like the soap. I actually feel so emotional just thinking about it. Like the soap was like dripping down like their collars, and like she didn't care. Like she literally didn't care that we were wet and like we were walking. And she was very deliberate in like pointing out that I'm speaking specifically to black girls. You guys disgust me. And she even went on to speak about like our bodies. The schools that we go to really make us hate ourselves. Like I don't even want to lie, especially when you are a black girl.
Exactly.
And it's not only in this country, it's like around the world.
I remember like in high school, I think I was in like grade 8 or 9 or something, like we had swimming for PE and stuff. And I remember like at some point all the black girls in the class had like braids on. So like the braids were like so big, like they couldn't fit like
in the swimming cap.
So then the PE teacher was like actually Indian, and she kept like reprimanding us like, why do you girls have braids? Now your swimming cap can't fit.
And like my goodness, like braids are protective hairstyles.
Exactly.
Another thing, like
exactly.
Our hair breaks, our hair goes through so many like things, and like I don't understand why non-black people have so many opinions about black girls' hair
when they know nothing.
You know nothing about my hair. Like just shut up and don't try to regulate my hair because you don't even know. Like you cannot compare the hair of a black girl to the hair of a white girl or an Indian girl. And my thing is like the school code of conduct was like black girls had to tie their hair, had to relax their hair, and all of that. But the girls who were actually non-black, they were allowed to. So they were allowed to embrace their hair naturally.
Yeah, true.
So the school catered.
But I feel like not even naturally, dude. Even if they dyed their hair.
Yeah, even if they did, it didn't matter.
It was a problem. Even if they had
But with you, even the
could.
guy, I remember Indian guys used to like putting like gel on their hair, and I know like it was even black guys. They also used to regulate black guys' hair with like they don't want them to like
the fade and stuff.
If like a black boy had like dreads,
they wouldn't
you had
want
to cut your hair
and I feel
off.
like that's a natural hairstyle. So how can you not allow someone to have their natural hair on? Like,
and also, I am embracing my ethnic identity.
Exactly.
Like And also, I was born this way.
So,
like, I was born with the hair
what has
coming out
happened?
this way.
What
What
has
am I
happened
supposed
now?
to do? All of this is anti-blackness,
It is.
and it is made to make black girls and black men hate themselves. And every time that they look in the mirror, they're gonna feel like there's something wrong with them.
Exactly.
But another point that I just wanted to bring out is like, aside from like anti-blackness that works in a very social space and like in the spaces of our families, I think it's an anti-blackness that also works to advance capitalism. Because
Oh my
if you
God,
make
yeah.
if you make people believe that there's something wrong with the way that they naturally
So now people are
look,
spending money on chemicals, hair chemicals, relaxers, weaves, things.
you
just
name it,
all in the
just
name
so
of like
exactly
assimilating into
this white
capitalist
society. So it definitely is
Oh,
working
hectic.
to advance capitalism. In one way, they're not allowing you to embrace your heritage, your identity,
Yeah,
but they also are forcing you to assimilate to this standard that is so not like you, that is like telling you that you are wrong in every
Exactly.
single way possible.
Mina, my problem is that every time we actually go ahead with them and assimilate and stuff,
Yeah.
we're also bashed for, oh, we don't love ourselves.
Yeah.
Now we anti-black,
Like
we're
gays.
aspiring to be white and stuff.
Oh yeah, like the chat about how like black girls now were wearing like weaves.
Exactly.
And it's like
How that's also political.
they trying to put us on the same level as, so they're trying to put black girls wearing black women wearing weaves on the same level as we should allow non-black people to wear braids
Exactly,
and wear bantu knots.
exactly.
Like, so they're trying to say we are appropriating them by wearing weaves. And I feel like that is such a false comparison to make,
oh my God.
because there is a huge difference between assimilation, cultural assimilation, and appropriation.
So in this chat, basically we need to like establish the difference between assimilation and appropriation.
Yeah.
I feel like appropriation is when like a dominant group just like takes something of a minority culture and like just makes it their own without acknowledging the other group.
Essentially, it's plagiarism. It's like plagiarism,
Guys,
just in a
Hey
more
guys,
cultural.
what are you doing? Turn it in, we'll find you. What are you doing?
It's plagiarism, just
Turn it
in a more social way. So like, it's definitely not the same thing. Black women are wearing weaves and straightening their hair so that they can be able to get into commercial spaces and work in these spaces, and
Because
actually
that's what's considered appropriate.
it's about social mobility and economic mobility. If we do not do these things, we will not survive. They don't wanna, like, even in this day and age,
imagine
girl,
going to a job interview with Moreno Kana. Like
Girl.
your afro there.
girl, even in this day and age, there are still women who are not given jobs or are not given the benefit of the doubt because of the way that they look. I don't know how many things that you can find just online about people giving their testimonies about black women speaking about how the boss put them to the side and was like, this is really inappropriate, please go home and change your hair.
Yeah, at the time I read this article on
I almost killed myself.
what's
with
going
my
on
earring.
Yeah, I read this article on like Marc Jacobs where he had this fashion show where he had these white models and then he used like dreads on them or something like that, something along those lines. So basically my problem is my problem is not the fact that he used the dreads.
Yeah.
Right. My problem is that he used the dreads without recognizing the people who that culture comes from.
Yeah.
So without representing black females, without doing that.
I have a
because
question. Why couldn't he have used black women?
I don't understand.
when
That's what I'm
naturally-
saying. That's what I'm saying. That's not my problem. My
Because
problem
they
is
wanna
not
black-
that. Yeah. And he used that to like capitalize on like the whole industry. He used that to just uplift these white women
Yeah.
at the expense of black
Further
women.
than they already
Exactly.
are.
Exactly.
black culture is always packaged as, when black culture is packaged in a way that is like acceptable in society, it is when it is on a non-black body or it's on a racially ambiguous body.
And that's the major problem when it comes to like cultural appropriation, because you're taking an aesthetically pleasing part of the culture and you're not representing the actual thing where it comes from.
At all. Yeah. And also my thing is then now we're actually erasing the roots of where this thing comes from. There was something like a woman in the workplace that I read. A woman in the workplace, she was kicked out because of, I think she had dreads. And after that, she went to court, she fought it. And the judge ruled against her, so she lost the case. Right. And the judge said that, well, her defense was this is my ethnic hair, this is how my hair naturally grows, and this is my identity. And the judge was like, well, no, it was after the film came out, and made it as a reference and said, well, 10, was a film that came out, and how can you make this claim that this is your ethnicity and your historical thing if now this is what is trending? So a white woman made a trend, so the validity of it being part of your ethnic group is false, because I mean everybody's doing it now, so she lost the case and she was like dismissed.
Are you serious?
So that's my thing, that's my problem. It's like, when you cannot take parts of blackness is not a prop. Being black is not a prop, and it's not a costume. You can't pick and choose what you want to take. And my thing is, okay, fine, if you guys really want to like appreciate black beauty and so forth, please acknowledge the fact that this is and call it the right thing.
Exactly.
Call it what it is. So do your research.
So acknowledge that it actually comes from this group, and that I'm just appreciating this part of
the culture. They're calling it globalization, but in reality, black women still are in these everyday spaces where they are being excluded because of their hair, because of the texture of their hair.
I feel like no matter what you do as a black woman, it will always be politicized.
It will always be.
If you wear a weave, they're gonna say you're cultural appropriator.
Yeah.
If you relax your hair, they're gonna say, oh, you're anti-black, you don't love your hair.
Yeah,
if you
that's what
wear
they
natural hair, they say, oh, you just like defying against white people, you're like,
or they're gonna say
or you're not well groomed. That's another argument they're gonna say. So I feel like, I don't know, all those ideas are just so problematic, and I feel like the moment black women are actually given the ability to choose what they want to do to their hair, that's like when they will achieve a great place.
Yeah, because also then I don't know if like black hair being commercialized the way that it is enough, because at the end of the day, it's not the real, like we said, it's a specific type of the black hair that is acceptable right now, that brands are buying into, and it is a specific type of a black person that it's on. So like my thing is that beats the whole purpose of like us celebrating this whole natural hair and so forth, because it's not for the everyday girl. It's not for the dark-skinned girl with the short hair that is also like really nappy. Those are not the girls that you see like that brands are buying into. And sometimes a lot of these things are about survival. It's about being able to progress, and it's not so much about trends. Sometimes it is about trends, but sometimes it's not. So I definitely feel like a lot of times this conversation needs to be opened up a lot more in terms of like, I just want us, every time that we speak about like black hair and how we choose to wear our hair as women, we need to have a larger conversation that goes beyond what men like, and that is bare minimum. Like the ground is high. We need to speak about how we are actually kicked out of like spaces where we could like be able to move forward, and how are we going to push back when we get into those spaces, So I definitely feel like this is a multi-layered conversation.
Yeah.
And I can only hope that like we be able to at least hit the ground, because I feel like it's very multi-layered.
Okay guys, let us know what you think in the comment section, your own personal experiences. If you do have them, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in our next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.